Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Nightmare Radio, The Night Stalker. It's an anthology horror movie, bookend with a DJ who's telling scary stories on the radio. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 11 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Now, you can't really tell what the hell's going on in this trailer other than there's a lot of stuff going on. Anthology movies are very tough to do a trailer on because they're smaller movies all bundled together, so you got to focus on the bookends, which is Nightmare Radio. So Candy, the DJ, is telling scary stories on the radio, and then I guess the stories segue into the actual events in those stories, but also Candy is stalked by a axe-wielding maniac, possibly a story she told on the air that turns out to be true, one of the stories, then, or a completely separate story. And then this was kind of cool at the end. It cut to this fox, and then it goes, screech. That was kind of cool. It was kind of scary. So it's called Nightmare Radio, The Night Stalker. I don't think it has anything to do with the Night Stalker TV show. Directed by the following filmmakers: Charlie Goitia, Ryan J. Thompson, Lorcan Finnegan, Nathan Crooker, Adam O'Brien, Mia Kate Russell, and David M. Night Marie. Did he just add M. Night into the middle of his name just so he could be like M. Night Shyamalan? I don't know. It's a lot of names. David M. Night Marie. So, yeah, and it doesn't have a cast list because, again, it would be too long for this because who's really the star? I guess you could say Candy's the star. Candy the DJ. I like these movies. Probably needed to focus a little more on what's rolling out, and it definitely needs a voiceover. Definitely 100%. Look, you can't, I know a lot of people think voiceovers are a cop-out, but not in a trailer. The whole point of the trailer is to tell people about the movie, and if you're going to dance around it and it's an anthology, you're kind of wasting everybody's time. You're like, yeah, some of this stuff looks cool, and I like horror, so I'd be down for it, but you know, if you're going to win other people over, people who are kind of on the fence, like, well, sometimes I like horror, or, well, sometimes I like a movie like this, but you got to give them a little more. So, like, Creepshow did a good job of that. That had a voiceover, I think, on the trailer, if I'm remembering. You know, just to, give them a rundown of the stories. That's usually too complicated. Okay, so you could just say, how many stories, like 6 frightening tales of terror on a windswept night in, wherever this takes place. Something like that. For my book, the Pineys book 10, I did 13 terrifying Piney tales. Right? So at least you know how many stories you're getting into. And you know what it's about. It's about stuff in the Pine Barrens. This is a little broader than that, but a theme wouldn't hurt you. A theme wouldn't hurt. So yeah, there's no. And look, if you're gonna post kind of a vague trailer like this on an anthology movie, you really desperately need the info here. You just desperately need it. Now, this is from Movie Trailer Source. They don't usually post anything, but they should. I mean, if you want to promote this movie, and I assume you do, you need to give us some more information. Yeah, horror fans will go see this, and I get it. It's not mainstream. But it could be mainstream horror. Certainly could compete with the likes of Scream, and Scream has gone mainstream. It certainly can compete with Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and all those. horror isn't totally mainstream, but it is international. That's for sure. So a movie like this, oh, you could get international distribution, no problem, because it's a horror movie. Horror, TNA, or action, or any combination thereof, will probably get you international distribution, because these stories will translate overseas. Scares translate. It's comedy that doesn't translate. So, there's no reason, I think, to hide what you got here. And it looks like you got something cool. It doesn't look like the directors are wildly different from one another in terms of the lighting or anything like that. It all looks to be kind of dark and mysterious and foggy. But a lot of it focuses on Candy, which is, good. I like this. This was creepy. This kind of startled me at the end of the movie. I don't know what this story is, but even just the still is kind of creepy, right? The dead eyes of, I guess that's a fox. Obviously, it's not a real fox, but, still, it's kind of creepy. That, of course, is creepy. I mean, give us just a quick rundown. 7 stories of terrifying terror. Something. I mean, you could even throw in stuff like from a hitchhiker in the middle of the night, a strange animal encounter, a ghost that can't be stopped. I'm making that up. It's not in a trailer, but something like that. You could just rattle off a few of them and give the audience a taste. Because we understand you can't explain every single thing. I guess I could get an idea just from the number of, say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So it's going to be Candy, Story, and 6 others. So they're going to move fast. Because you figure basically you're dividing the time in the movie by 7. All right? So if each one of those is 15 minutes each, that puts you at 105 minutes. Yeah, 105. Which is about where you want to be. You want to be kind of close to 90. You give each filmmaker about 15 minutes, and then some of them will come short. Which is fine, right? If somebody comes in at 10 minutes or whatever, you get down to 100 or 95, that's fine. As long as you get 85 minutes. And Candy's segment will probably be a little longer. So you're really probably looking at 13 minutes each. That's a good number to go with a horror movie, right? I like that number. So like each section's 13, and then Candy's would be something like 20 if you combine. You probably keep cutting back to her in between, slowly building up the Night Stalker, and then ending big with her encounter with the Night Stalker or whatever it is. I think there's definitely a ghost or a witch. But again, just people screaming, some blood, ghostly images. I mean, that's all well and good, but give us the VO would be my only criticism. See, this is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool effect. Everything's a little dark, I'll say. But that's to be expected in a horror movie. Would have liked to have seen one of these stories lit kind of differently. Would have liked to have seen, one or a couple have very different looks. But I'm picking on it in that respect. Even this. Like, this could be lit, I think. It's kind of creepy. So, yeah. I mean, other than that, would I see it? Yeah, I'd probably give it a shot. The great thing about anthology movies is, if you don't like one, if you don't like where the movie's going, about wait 15 minutes and it'll be something else. So if you get, out of the 6 stories, 3 of them are good, and the candy, well, 7 stories really. If you get 4 out of 7, that's a win. That's a win. And each one will have 3 acts, smaller, tighter 3 acts. But, and with that many directors, you could even go like one's 5 minutes, one's 20 minutes, depending on what the story is. This is the most well lit section. Here, I'm just going to play it without sound. You can watch. It's pretty scary, I think. It just looks, real, but it looks kind of inhuman at the same time. Meaning, like, not obviously it's fake. But I think they really captured the eyes. So, Nightmare Radio, The Night Stalker. No data on when it drops. So, probably going direct to VOD. If I had to guess, kind of low budget. Maybe. I'm thinking. But yeah, I would give this a chance. Even if you only get like 1 out of 7, I mean, and that one is really good, it'd be somebody to look for down the road if that filmmaker gets a movie. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble later today. I'm at the Lehigh Valley Comic Book Convention in Lehigh Valley in Snakesville. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'll be there today from 10 to 4. So come on by if you're a Pennsylvania Piney, or even if you're just in Pennsylvania. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you in the next one.